Hi, everyone. Welcome. For those that don't know me or are new here, I am Nicole Potter, founder of Legacy Game Changers. In last week's live, I said that I'm not shrinking or hiding my voice anymore. And as I sat with that, I realized something. A lot of women don't stop speaking or showing up because they're weak. They go quiet because they're tired, because they've been carrying too much, because they learned it was safer. I know that was my story. Maybe that's yours too. Going quiet, shrinking, and carrying too much doesn't always look dramatic. It can look like saying, that's fine, when it's truly not. Not bringing things to God because you assume He's tired of hearing it, or not asking for help because you don't think anyone is going to help. Not sharing your opinion because it feels easier to avoid friction. Lowering your expectations. Managing instead of living. And eventually, you don't even notice that you've shrunk or gone quiet or erased yourself. Many women are tired not because their schedule is full, but because they are still hiding in ways they don't even recognize. It's become a lifestyle. You hide your personality, you hide your faith, hide your reactions, hide your needs, hide your disappointment, hide your anger, hide how much something actually hurts you, hide that you need support, hide that you need to take time for yourself. And when you live like that long enough, some of us for decades, you become tired in a way that sleep just can't fix. You wake up tired, you go to bed tired, you get a full night's sleep and still feel tired and heavy. And you don't understand why. Because really, there doesn't seem to be any reason that you can see. Because on the surface, you're functioning, maybe just barely, but you're hard on yourself. You feel overwhelmed because you don't understand why. Therefore, you don't know how to change it. You're responsible. You're dependable. You handle things. You don't fall apart. You adapt. So why are you exhausted? You have faith. Well, because holding yourself together constantly takes energy. And most of you have been holding yourself together for most of your life. I want to name something gently. And I want to ask how many of you do this. You scan rooms, not because you're insecure, but because somewhere along the way you learned that staying aware kept you safe. You notice tone shifts. You read facial expressions. You adjust your volume based on what's going on. You soften your opinions, your reactions. You calculate how something will land before you say it. You have backup plans for your backup plans. I know this used to be me. And you don't even consciously realize that you're doing it anymore because it's become a pattern. It has become natural. But your body does. And your nervous system is exhausted because you're always on. Your body knows when it's bracing. Your shoulders know. Your jaw knows. Your stomach knows. Your knees, your hips, your feet, every part of you knows because your body holds on to it all. That is the constant micro adjusting. And that is why you're exhausted. But here's the deeper layer. Some of you are not tired because you're busy. You're tired because you've been self-abandoning in small ways for a very long time. How do you do that? You smile when something hurts. You say it's fine when it really wasn't. You downplay your needs so you don't seem dramatic. You don't set boundaries for people who walk on you. You do everything yourself in order not to have to ask for help. You swallow words to keep the peace. You hold back from feeling anything that could cause you or anyone else discomfort. And every time you override yourself, your body absorbs it and holds on to it into places like your jaw, your throat, your shoulders, as I said earlier. You adapted. You became easy to be around, low maintenance, flexible, dependable, strong, and capable. And then on times when your body has decided you've had enough, sometimes you have one of those outbursts where then people look at you like you are the problem. But adaptation without safety becomes depletion, becomes exhaustion, becomes feeling like you're overwhelmed. You're tired because you're constantly managing yourself and others, but managing yourself has led you to erasing yourself in the process, shrinking back, being small. And I want to be very clear. This is not about blaming anyone, not even you. You learned this somewhere. Maybe it was in childhood. Maybe it was with family. Maybe in marriage. Maybe you learned it in the church. Maybe in friendships. You learned that certain parts of you were too much or maybe not enough. So you became less. Self-abandonment and self-erasure are big issues today. And we don't even realize it because we have learned that this is normal, especially for women. But becoming less takes energy. And living this way for years, even decades, is why you are exhausted. It was why I was exhausted. So now I'm not going to stir you up and leave you here, okay? We're not unpacking your whole history today. That is not the point of this message. We're going to do something so much simpler. Would you like something simple? I know I do. I want you to notice something right now. Are you slightly tight anywhere in your body? Even listening to this, have you noticed your body tense as you see yourself in parts of this message? I did when God and I started dealing with this. Are your shoulders a little raised? Is your jaw slightly feeling set or tight? Have any emotions rose as you've listened? Is your stomach tightly held? Maybe your leg is shaking. I just want you to notice. I'm not asking you to fix it. I most certainly don't want you to judge it. I just want you to notice your body. And as you do, I want you to take a slow breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to just quietly say, even in your mind, I don't have to brace myself right now. That's it. I don't have to brace right now in this moment. You don't have to monitor this space. You don't have to adjust for me. You are safe here just as you are. I want you to breathe in again. And exhale some of that tension. Now one more time. Maybe stretch where you're feeling tight. And exhale. Can I invite you to think a new thought today? What if your feelings of being tired isn't failure? What if it's just feedback? What if your body is not betraying you, but it's talking to you? That your body's asking for safety. Not dramatic safety, not confrontational safety, but an invitation to connect to yourself with God, to release the tension and heaviness that you are carrying in your body and in your heart and in your mind. What if you didn't have to carry it alone or at all anymore? Just internal honesty with yourself and God. And God already knows it. What if the shift begins when you stop telling yourself you're fine when you truly are not? What if the shift begins when you can be real and admit that I'm tired of holding it all together? I just want to rest. That admission alone can soften something within you. So right now, I want you to do something with me. I'm asking you to. I want you to place one hand over your chest, if that feels comfortable. And I just want you to say quietly, I see you. Not to anyone else, but to yourself. You can say, I see where I've been shrinking. I can see where I've been bracing myself. I see where I've been carrying too much. There's no shame. There's no fixing. Just acknowledgement right now. And I want you to take another breath. And any bout of yawning or even water coming out of your eyes, or you may even sneeze, or your body may want to stretch, those things are all okay. Because those are all signs of release that your body is releasing tension, stress, emotions out. And as you exhale, I want you to say, I'm allowed to be here. I matter. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to release. I am safe and God is with me. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be strong, not more spiritual. Just here. You are allowed to exist without constantly managing yourself and others. You are allowed to take up space internally before you ever take it up externally. That was one of the strangest things for me when the Lord had me say that out loud, that I could take up space. I'm allowed to be here. I matter. I never thought that I didn't think I could until I said it and I became very emotional. If you do nothing else this week, just notice where you brace, where you tense up, where you choose to shift based on your circumstances around you. And take note of what is going on at that time. What does it remind you of? It might be a pattern that you grew up with. Maybe there's a situation that will remind you of something familiar that you didn't quite realize, and the hustle was connected to it. because our reactions today are connected to events and memories and things inside our nervous system that our body has kept track of is what we're reacting to. It's not usually the present moment. We're not doing this to criticize yourself or others. We're just doing it so that maybe we can soften 1%, maybe 10%. You do not need a personality overhaul. You do not need a confrontation. You don't need to announce a new identity. You need safety in your own body to know that you are safe with you and God. Awareness and connection to yourself that you can take to God and ask, what do you think about this? Or one of my favorite questions when I have no idea, what do I need to know right now? And then listen. And I don't mean actively think, like you want to come up with the answer yourself. I'm asking you to take a moment and in the silence, ask the question and listen for the answer, because his spirit within you will reveal to heal. And safety and peace begin with awareness. And that happens as you take even a brief moment to connect to yourself with God, because that's what God is asking his daughters in this season. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not behind. You have just been carrying yourself carefully, and you've been carrying too much. And in some cases, you're overly cautious, and that is taking up way too much energy. It is your nervous system's job to protect you, and you have built patterns throughout your life that your nervous system responds to, that the Lord wants to bring you back to a place where you can feel like you have peace, where you are connected to yourself. Today isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming honest. It's about taking time to connect to yourself and God together and have honest connection, because that's where rest and peace begins. So I just want you to take one more slow breath as we come to the close. I don't want to take up too much of your time every week. It's just a little lunch break. Let your shoulders drop. Stretch. You don't have to brace right now. And we'll pause right here because that's enough for today. Last night I held my first rest encounter, releasing the weight, and I guided attendees through the process step by step to do what I briefly helped you do today. If you feel that that would be supportive for you and where you are, I can make the replay available to you. If you'd like access, simply just type rest replay or send me a message, DM with the rest replay, and I'll get you the details. I was only going to be hosting these monthly, but I feel the Lord wants me to do these twice a month. So the next gathering is going to be Thursday, March 5th. And the theme will be when you're carrying too much. If you'd like the details for that one, just type next and I'll send you that link. There's no pressure. There's no need to attend these things. It's just an open invitation. And wherever you are today, just take one breath without bracing yourself. Connect to yourself with God. You don't have to carry it alone. I want you to take one more slow breath before we leave. There's nothing that you need to rush back into. You're allowed to move through the rest of your day, the weekend, a little less rest for impact. And I will see you soon.